Happy hello and welcome back to Paper Creations by Mindy YouTube channel. I just want to start by saying a big thank you to my subscribers, seasoned and new to my work. It truly means the world to me. For today's video, I'm going to be going through the process of my card using My Favorite Things products and some Copic coloring. I'm starting out by creating my background. I knew I was going to be using my star stencil, and instead of a nighttime sky, I wanted to create more of a sunset scene. So here I'm going to be using picked raspberry, wild honey, and seedless preserve Distress Oxide inks. I'm applying this onto some Bristol smooth cardstock. The oxides blend beautifully on most anything I've used so far, but I find they blend even better on Bristol Smooth. The catch is, because it is such a smooth cardstock, if you touch it right away, you can leave imprints or smudge the ink because it does have that pigment ink density. So when I flip my cardstock around, I'm going to either use a scrap piece of cardstock or a paper towel to hold it down. Note, if you do use a paper towel, it can still leave a slight imprint from the texture of that paper towel. I didn't mind on my card right now because I'm going to add texture to it anyway. Using my blending tools, I apply the ink in some circular type of motion, and once I have the colors added, I'm just lightly going back over them to blend them together more. Then here is the star stencil that I'll be using. I'm going to be using some painter's tape to hold it down so it doesn't move when I apply the ink. And then I'm using wild honey and going over the stars. I'm kind of just dabbing it. I don't really want to slide my blending tool around just because I don't want to snag an edge from the stencil and ruin my stars. Another idea is you could use some glimmer paste for the stars. I didn't have the color on hand that I wanted, but definitely something I want to try in the future. I'm removing the painter's tape while holding down the stencil. The ink is still a little wet, so I don't want to risk my stencil moving and chance smudging it up. So now we have these gorgeous stars into the background. I wanted to add just a little bit more to it, so I added some Crafter's white paint to an acrylic block and just a little spritz of water, and I'm just flicking that to add some white dots to that background. Now we are on to the Copic coloring portion of the video. I did speed it up, but if you want to skip this part, you can head over to 7:10 and that will take you to the next process of the card. If you are sticking around for the coloring, I'm just going to go over a little bit of how I do it. Now, I am no professional when it comes to Copic coloring, and even though I know some basics of shadowing, what I do may not always follow those guidelines. I do what I'm comfortable with and what looks good to me. I typically color from darkest to lightest. This is the easiest way for me to blend my colors. For this card, I already stamped out some images that I think I will be using, and I did that onto Nina's Solar White cardstock with Memento Black Tuxedo ink, which is a Copic friendly ink. Nina does seem to soak in the colors more than, let's say, Express It, which is what I used to use in the past. So on Nina, I do tend to go over things twice to make sure it's blended and I'm achieving that depth that I want. So I'm just going to go through and color up my images. I will have all the supplies and colors I'm using listed on my blog, Paper Creations by Mindy, which I will also link in the video and down below as well. For the next part of my card, I envisioned my little elephant flying over some trees. And when I die cut trees, I don't like to just cut straight from cardstock. I like to use my Distress Oxides to create the color that I'm going to cut from them. So for my trees, I'm using Twisted Citron, Peeled Paint, and Mowed Lawn. These colors layer beautifully, and I'm actually experimenting, and I'm going to spritz it with vinegar to add some distressing to it instead of just plain water. You may notice that my paper towel left a little bit of an imprint on my ink, which I've never had happen before when I've spritzed water on it, but I thought it actually looked really great and just added some more to my cardstock. Now I'm lining up my trees, which is from the Christmas tree die, and holding them in place with a little painter's tape so they don't move around when I run them through my die cutting machine. My trees are all cut out, and I'm going to start laying out how my card is going to look and where everything will fit. Once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to start adhering everything together. That will complete my card for today. If you enjoyed watching my process, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. And feel free to leave me a comment. I always enjoy hearing from the viewers. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my latest projects. All supplies are listed down below and on my blog. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.